Just sharing out the live. Just give me 1 second. Hi, Lola. How are you? How is your Saturday going? My Saturday, I actually do it different. I run 2 companies, and I tend to do it a bit different. My Saturday and Sundays are more of my busier days. I work all week. I work every day. Hi. I was just about to actually click on her. Hello. I'm not sure where I finished off. That's all right. If you get a double, you get a double. If you get a double invite, you get a double invite, right? Right? Nice. I love it. You have to, right? I work from home. I work with my like running a nonprofit, but I also run my company and Sha'Ryah, which is the School of Light, where I help people with nervous system, understanding yourself. Really, what I do is I help you to understand yourself and reality better. That's what I do at Sha'Ryah. And then, like I said, Hugs for Homeless. So I do 2 lives on the weekend for my my Sha'Ryah, for my Sha'Ryah and Lorian accounts, like for all of that stuff. I do that on the weekend. I mean, I work on my nonprofit every day because I also manage the social media account. And so, I mean, that can be quite busy. I think that's one of the more challenging aspects that I don't think people understand is coming up with content every single day, right? Like there's a creativity level, right, that you have to be in. And, you know, for me, I'm coming up with concepts that are about the nervous system or about healing, trauma, mental health, like all of those things. But then on the other hand, it's all the content about homelessness and, you know, trying to, you know, do that as well. So going back between all of those, like I'm constantly creating things because of it. But sometimes you get to a spot and you're just like, what am I going to post about today? Like, what am I going to post about on this account or on that account? Or, you know, and if you're doing it right, then you're trying to post in such a way to keep people coming back or to grow your account or to get donations. It can get quite tiring, I'll tell you. It can get tiring. Hi, Michelle. Oh, yes, I didn't share on this one. I have 2 accounts that I'm on. And so you'll see me looking at different screens, and that's because I'm live on multiple channels. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube, as well as both of my TikTok accounts. And the reason why is because at one point I was almost going to get a ban on this. Well, I had 2 violations, so I was worried I was going to get a ban on this account. So I created the Sha'Ryah and Lorian as a backup. Now I've had that backup account for, probably 1.5 years, 2 years now. And it's very slow growing. So one of the things I'm very happy about is that Hugs has definitely grown faster than that, because it's interesting that the Hugs social media account, I don't even remember when I started TikTok for that. It was probably maybe 8 months now maximum, but it is growing so fast. I think it's gonna, you know, it's gonna take over it's gonna take over Sha'Ryah and Lorian for having more followers soon, which is good, right? We've had some really great things happen within that nonprofit. We received, we're doing a backpack drive right now through Hugs for Homeless. So our goal is to help 1,000 people before winter. And the radio station that we advertised with was so excited about the campaign that we're doing that they ended up giving us a $15,000 complimentary advertising package so that they can help us to really get that out there, which was just huge. We also have a partnership with Kits for a Cause, which is a beautiful organization that does like team building and group activities. And so we've had 2 donations from them so far. One donation was 300 hygiene kits, and they were full hygiene kits. And then we just got another donation for 168 travel hygiene kits. So when we're helping 1,000 people, now we'll have 468 hygiene kits to place in the backpacks, which means that we'll have more money to buy backpacks with and the other supplies that need to go in it, which is really, really nice. Hi, Jason. I'm well. How are you? So yeah, so that's my nonprofit. That's my nonprofit, constantly plugging and promoting that. We have so many different ways to get involved, whether you want to get involved as a volunteer, or you have donations that you want to give, or you own a corporation and you love to do team building and want to do this new form of team building, which is a philanthropic team building. So you actually feel that while you're building your team, you're also giving back to society in a way that would matter to you or your company. There's lots of companies like ours that do that. So you don't have to, pick a company that's dealing with the homeless. There's also people that are, that do it for a whole bunch of different other charity types. I'm good. How are you, Alfonso? As soon as I read that, it just hit in there and I wanted to say hi back, but my brain was just really trying to finish that. And I started having some speech issues for sure. So today, that's all about hugs. That's my nonprofit. I always do a plug for it and talk about it. I might talk about it at some other point, but I'm going to talk about what I'm actually here for, which is for the Sha'Ryah part. So we're going to check in on the cards and see what the energy's like. I do make my own tarot and oracle decks. I am a retired nurse of over 20 years who left her business because of her experience in healing her own trauma, and decided that I wanted to help other people overcome their traumas. So that's what started me leaving my old company and coming to work for this. And so, that's been quite interesting. My weekend's okay. Not as like you got to roll with what's rolling with it, but it's okay. Hi, Sieshi. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I did my best. All right. So we're going to check in on the energy. We're going to do a global meditation today, because I always do a global meditation on Saturday. And the whole point is that we are all energy. We are all connected, even though we can be far apart. And our intention and coming together with a shared intention is extremely powerful. So we're going to do a global meditation today. The one that I'm going to do today is actually based on cleansing money. So when I explain this a little bit more, you might understand what I mean by that. When we create something that is like an infant being created. So when I created my company 5 years ago, it was an infant. Now it's a 5-year-old child. We know when we create a corporation, it is created as an entity. That's what they actually call it, is an entity. Well, money was created a long time ago, long before we were born, and it's been around long enough that it has a lot of energy. Money's very old in that way, right? It's more aged. Many people look at money as a god, so it has had a lot of energy fed into it because of belief systems and the way that we talk about it. One thing that's happened with money over time, because remember, money in and of itself is neutral, and it would actually prefer to be aligned with, positivity. It really would. Like everything would like to be aligned with the positive, or life would like to be aligned with life, because life is sacred. So money, unfortunately, though, in the use of money over time, money has been used in a lot of negative ways. It's been used to purchase people. It's been used to purchase other things. It's been used to hurt people. Like money has a lot of negativity and actual evil that's been sown into it over time. So as money goes through those hands and it's used in a legal manner and it's used for negative things, money becomes dirtier and dirtier, and money picks up more and more evil quality to it. So if you're somebody who is good and showing up, aligned with life, then naturally you're not as magnetic to money. Money is not as magnetic to you because you're not resonating in the same space, right? You're not resonating on the same frequency. So we want to be resonating on the same frequency as that which we're trying to magnetize to us, which is what we're trying to do with money, is magnetize it to us to receive it. And so the thing we're going to do today is we're actually going to cleanse money, so that money will be aligned with the divine, that it'll be aligned with love, that it'll be aligned with life, and cleanse it. So then when it's clean, money will then want to naturally align with those of us who are aligned with life, as opposed to those of us who are using it to purchase things that are opposing life or actually purchasing people. Right? So that's the concept of cleaning money. Money is an entity. It is an entity. Many of us have negative connotations that we use with it, where we go, money is the root of all evil, right? So having those things, it smells God. Does it? I mean, I don't know. I had 2 children, sons, both of them. And I remember when they were little kiddos, and they would fart and they would claim, I just farted. And they would be all excited and chuckle because it smelled funny. And they would, hee, 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 hee. Are you 3 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Which age are you? I'm just curious. Right? Mute. And there. Bye. We don't play those games. Sorry. I ain't got time for children. I'm an adult. It took a long time to get here. I had to become an adult to become an adult, because when I was raised, I wasn't given all the stuff that everybody else maybe got. I mean, I'm sure many of us have that same thing, right? You were raised in your home either nurtured you nicely or gave you abuse, neglect, all of those things. And then you become an adult and you don't even realize, hey, all those things that happened to me as a child have altered me in some way. We just think that's normal. And that's the pitfall of thinking that trauma is normal, is that when we think that trauma is normal, then why do we do anything about it? Why would we heal it? It's just normal. Everybody has mental health issues. Everybody has trauma. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's anxious. Everybody's on medications. Right? So we get ourselves stuck in that concept, and then we believe that that's just normal. And so we don't have to do anything about it. Don't have to change. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But it's not normal. It never was normal. It shouldn't be normal. We should be doing everything we can to stop it from being normal. That was just weird. It sounded so quiet for a second. I'm like, did my thing go away? No, the volume was just quieter than I thought. So I'm going to check in on the cards. We are meant to be, thinking of life as sacred and all life as sacred, not just what you think is palatable, right? We don't just think that those people who, make lots of money, well, they are, deserving of everything that society has to give. But, that person who had wicked trauma maybe didn't even have a family. Like when you think about the way that a lot of those who are unhoused, right? When you think about, hi Pappy, when you think about people that are unhoused, right? Think about somebody that grew up in foster care, that was abused everywhere that they could. They were abandoned by their birth parents, then abused everywhere that they could, going through the foster system from one abuse to the next abuse, maybe even living in group homes, doing all of that. They get out, they're trying to make something of themselves. They're riddled with trauma and mental health issues, because that's what you get when you grow up with trauma, is mental health issues and difficulties understanding your place in the world and, stuff like that, having good connection. So you get out, you get a job, you start making it, everything's going well, and then something bad happens. Let's say your car breaks down and you can't fix your car because all your money has to go to rent and food, And now because you can't fix your car, you can't get to work. And so you can't get to work, you lose your job. You lose your job, you're out on the street. So why is that person out on the street? Well, because they don't have a mom and dad that they can fall back on because they came out of foster care, right? So it's not about people ending up in any way. It could happen to anybody, right? It could happen to anybody, but all of those people they deserve housing. They deserve food. Nobody should die because of a lack of necessities. Nobody should die from hunger. In a world that provides the food for free, anybody could plant food. Anybody could, right? Like we could. Hi, honeybee. Any one of us could, right? But they are clapping down on that too. That's why we have all of our seedless fruits. Ooh. Okay. All righty. We got a couple cards right off the bat. Let's see what the first two are. So the first one's the Four of Ether. So when I said I made my own oracle and tarot decks, this deck is the Etherian Tarot, and that means that it includes the ether element. This is the Four of Ether, and with the Four of Ether, it's talking about integration and reflection, divine purpose, or a divine pause. Really, it's more of a pause rather than, you're pursuing with a lot of fire. There is an energetic recalibration that's going on, the spiritual integration, and you're allowing for divine timing. I know what that's like. I moved out here to join Hugs for Homeless and partner in it, moved my company out here, and I rented a furnished house because, it's easier that way. When you're moving across the country. Sorry, I just lowered my chair accidentally with my foot. I had to pick it back up. The people that I was renting it from, they were going to be gone for a year to a year and a half. And then they let me know that a little while ago that they were thinking about selling it in June when the mortgage came up. And I was like, oh, well, who knows? Maybe I'll be in a position to buy it. And then they turned around and like 2 weeks later, after I was like, I don't know if I'd really buy it, like mentally, I hadn't said anything to them. I was just like mentally, like, I don't think I would buy this house, but that gives me an idea that come June, I'm definitely going to be, moving on from here. Then they came in, and after I made that decision mentally in my mind, then she messaged me and she was like, oh, he's got a potential offer to come back in December. Like, so for the beginning of December. And I was just like, what? Now that means that I may have to move in like 3 months, right? That's a lot. Hi, Mom. How are you? That I'd have to, move in that short amount of time. So that created that instability. I don't know the next step. I don't know where I'm moving to, or like if I'm staying in Alberta, am I going to move somewhere else? Like, I have no idea. So this is that divine pause that it's talking about. And when we're in that moment where the next step really doesn't seem certain and maybe very, very uncertain, right? That's our time to pause. It doesn't mean that because you don't know what the next step is, that you go and just run around all reckless and just jump doing this or do that or whatever, because then you're probably going to be causing more problems for you. So it's about just waiting and allowing what is for you to arrive before making those next steps. So the Four of Ether is a call to embrace stillness, reflection, and deep energetic restructuring. You are being guided to allow divine intelligence to settle within you, reshaping your reality from the inside out. In this sacred pause, you are being prepared for the next level of your ascension. Okay. We also got the Seven of Air. These cards actually flew like that. So we got the Seven of Air. Air is mental. And, so it's all about your thoughts and your logical landscape, your intellect, all of those things. So when we're looking at the mental, this Seven of Air represents the hidden truth. So there's strategy, hidden motives, and it's a time to definitely use discernment because there's illusions and secrecy about. And when they're, when we're in that, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when we're in this space or not. Discernment is the gift that you should be working on. Like, it's the number one thing that hi, Kirsten, that we should be working on is our discernment. Because how do you know what is real and what is not if your discernment hasn't been fostered, right? If you haven't worked on it. When with all the information that's coming out, right? How do you know what information is true? How do you know that it's real versus AI? How do you know that it's aligned with you or not aligned with you? All of those things happen by becoming very skilled with your discernment. So that discernment, in order to in order to get clear with your discernment, you have to get in the present moment, right? Understanding that your body is always in the present moment. Your mind tends to travel into the past of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, or that happened to me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Or we're in the future going, oh my God, is it going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. When's it going to happen? Oh my God, so we're in those two spaces, and normally it's not in the healthy way. We're not sitting there going, oh my God, I remember that time when I got this, I won this thing, or I remember this time when I went on this beautiful trip and I had this wonderful vacation, right? Sometimes we do talk about our past that way, or we might be talking about our future plans and, I'm working really hard. I got these goals to meet these, to meet these things at certain points, and, the company's doing well, or I'm doing well, or whatever. We're not necessarily talking about our future from that aspect. We tend to travel into those spaces out of fear or, pain, discomfort, those reasons. But our body always stays in the present moment. When we bring ourselves back to the present moment and we allow our nervous system to become regulated, so we soothe ourselves if that's the case, then we have clarity available to us. We're able to make decisions that are more aligned with us, that are more in coherence with us, because we're more in coherence. If we're running around going, oh my God, I got to get that done. I got to get that done. Oh my God. If I don't get that done, I'm not going to have any, and we're in that fear space, we're going to be making decisions in an urgent way. And those decisions in that urgent way are not going to be aligned with us the way that we hope so. So the 7 of air is a reminder that discernment is your greatest power. You are being asked to see beyond delusions, trust your intuition, and navigate carefully. If something feels off, investigate further. The truth will always reveal itself. And the truth sets you free. I'm not that type of person that would be content with a lie. As we're on our awakening journey and we're awakening, right? One of the things that we're awakening to is the truth of who and what we are and how we're meant to live, the truth about society and how it has been inverted and distorted and all of the things that we're dealing with it. We're meant to look at the truth. Now, some people would rather be comforted with a lie. They'd rather not know the truth. They would rather just keep on believing the lie so they can keep on staying in the space where they're comfortable, because change is oftentimes uncomfortable. If somebody said to me, look at red dye and what it has done with children and causing such increase in behavioral symptoms that are aligned or associated with ADHD, right? Like hyperactivity, difficulty settling down, all of that. When they realize that if you stop feeding your children all of these food colorings and preservatives and toxins, their behaviors change greatly, because those things were causing an increase in symptoms of ADHD, or they're at least causing these behavioral issues because it's not good for you. So by knowing the truth of that, you can make an informed decision and say, well, I'm not going to eat those anymore because I don't need an increase in anxiety in me or my children. So I'm going to eliminate that. That's what waking up to the truth is. It's waking up to look at things and to research things, find out the information, become the informed buyer, right? We shouldn't just be consuming things without thinking about, what is this doing to me long term? What is this doing to my health, whether that's my mental health, whether that's my spiritual health, my physical health, my financial health? It doesn't matter. If you're watching absolute garbage and drivel on TV, then you can't expect your mental space to be healthy. If you're eating garbage food that's never seen the light of day, you can't expect your body to be healthy, right? You have to learn these things as an individual, because the people that are up there, they don't care. They're feeding us all kinds of lies and garbage and toxins and poisons and whatever. We are the ones that have to be wise and know what we're purchasing and choose, because our money is what's going to choose what the future has. What we put our attention and awareness on is going to show what we're going to have more of. If every single one of us that we do not consent to surveillance, and all of us stood up and said no, surveillance would stop right away, because the only way that they get away with it is because of our consent. And that consent can happen by us just remaining silent. So discernment is your biggest gift to discern. All right, let's see if there's anything. Oh, okay. This card I have to tape. I scratched the paper on it, but it came out in the inverted. This is the Ace of Ether. So when the Ace of Ether is in the shadow position or the reverse position, it's actually talking about feeling disconnected from source, or disconnected from the Almighty, disconnected from the divine or God, if that's the name that you want to use for it. There are creative blocks, maybe resisting transformation, or even doubt in your divine power, or doubt in the divine power. So the Ace of Ether is an invitation to step into your highest embodiment, to receive and transmit divine energy, and to trust that you're being fully supported in your cosmic expansion. It is the purest connection to source, the beginning of all things, and the light that guides you home. Okay, so just allow it to guide you home. Know that you're always connected. I mean, I wish I could give people like the knowledge that I have, or you could for one moment pop into my brain and see what I've seen, so you can understand that the field of ether is all around us in all of the space. It's constantly touching you, it's touching me, it's all over everything. The unifying field of consciousness, which is ether, is in every bit of space. It is where relationship exists. Me and you, and in between us, source exists, and it becomes a part of us when we're in relationship with one another. And I wish people could see that, so you could know you're never alone. It's always around you, listening to your emotions, your words, your thoughts, the actions that you're taking. It's with you in all of those moments. And if you are in those moments thinking and feeling and talking about fear, the all unifying field of consciousness that's all around you is going, they really like fear. They've been focused on that. Like, I guess they want more things to be afraid of. Odd thing to be focused on, but okay, if that's what they want more of, I'm going to give it to them, because that's what they want. And away they go. More fear your way. So when you understand that, you can either be an unconscious manifester, which we all are until we become conscious of it. And when you become conscious of it and you realize your thoughts, your feelings, your belief system, the words that you speak about your life, and the actions that you take on it are creating your very life. So there is ownership in that. Ownership in that. All right. Do we want more tarot, or do we want to check in with some of the other oracle decks? I'll check on that. Let's see. I think there's one more, though. For some reason, I feel like there's one more in here. No. Whoop. They were flipping, flopping, flipping, flippity, floop, floop. Nope. I'm going to make them give it back. There's too many. There's a stack. We just want one. Just one. Please be clear, Spirit. Just one. That's the last message from the tarot, and then we'll move on to some oracle. All right, we got two. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give the two. All right, so we got another air. Remember, air is our mental space, and air, in this case, the 9 of air, is that this is the shadow of the mind. Okay, so the 9 of air upright, there's anxiety, overthinking, fears taking over, sleepless night, and maybe mental anguish. If you're somebody that's in this space, right, That's not a good space to be in at all. Like, this is where, the fears have really taken over, and you're not sleeping as well as you should, and it just keeps perpetuating into more, right? Because as you're tired and, like you're run down energetically, those things are going to be harder for you to stand up against, and to, to have any strength against. And it just becomes a cycle, in which can lower you down more and more and more. The 9 of air is meant to teach us that worry is a misuse of your imagination. Instead of feeding the fears and instead of feeding those fears, to turn your focus to the solution and trust, right? You are stronger than your shadows. So let them dissolve into the light of awareness. When we're looking at that with the turning your focus to solution, right? We think that we're in solution mode while our mind is going, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Right? I told you about my situation earlier, that my landlord or the people that I'm renting from have, maybe are going to be coming back here in December, like the beginning of December, which is not what I was thinking, right? I thought I had more time. I don't know the next step, no idea whatsoever. And I could be sitting here going, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. But that doesn't help me. That makes me spiral in a circle, right? And so I don't want to sit in a circle and just stew in it. I don't want to sit there in that energy. I can move myself into a space of trust, and just trust that all the way up until here, I've always been taken care of. I may not have 100% loved exactly where I was or the experience that I had, but I've always been taken care of. I've always been provided for. I've always been taken care of. So keep with that notion. I will always be taken care of. Now, solution. The solution is, well, what can I do? So if this is the case, then what? And you can go through and look at, well, I could do this. Well, if I do this, this is a potential outcome. Okay, there's one opportunity. And just keep going through until you go through all the opportunities or options that you have at your availability. And you're going to pick the one that's most aligned with you. It may not be the decision that you want to make, but it's the most aligned decision, right? Let's say that, at the end of this, I don't really have, an idea of where to go. And I end up having to rent a room, just rent a room off of somebody for a little bit. Well, if that was the case, that's not my ideal, but I know that I'm okay. And it's just a step on the way, right? It's just another step along the way to where I'm headed, but that I'm okay, right? But we oftentimes, like I said, we don't go into that part of asking well, what do I do now? What do I do now? Hi, Carol. How are you, love? She's popping around on all of them. All right. The last card is the Knight of Earth. And we'll do some tarot cards with it. Or sorry, not some tarot, some oracle cards with these cards as well. So the Knight of Earth, when we're looking at Earth, think Earth and worth. They really align with one another. So when we're looking at that, we can be looking at money, we can be looking at your confidence, we can be looking at your, I was thinking my brain went somewhere else. Anyway, we can be thinking of those things, right? Like how you feel about your worth and value, and also the money and value that you hold within your life. So those are, and Earth can also be around healing as well. So we've got this wonderful Knight of Earth coming out. Now, knights are messengers, and they're also about movement, but the knight is a slower moving, the Knight of Earth is the slowest moving knight. There we go. I finally got to it. The Knight of Earth is the slowest moving knight. This is very steady progress. It is responsibility, commitment, hard work, reliability, financial security, and disciplined action, right? So even though we've got this worry that's coming in here, the Knight is telling us that steady action that you're taking, that showing up, that being disciplined, it is going to result in financial security. It is. But we can't stay in this space, because if we stay in this space, we're sitting in that worry and fear and lack mentality. And that means that's what's going to come to us, because that's what we're magnetizing. We're magnetizing the like energy of what we are sitting in the majority of the time. So if the majority of the time you're in fear, the majority of the things that are going to show up in your life are going to be things to reaffirm the fear. When you realize that's a waste of your imagination, you're stronger than that, you're always connected to source, you've always been provided for. And besides that, you know how to take care of yourself. You've done so this long. You're always going to be able to take care of yourself. You got this. So when you start to have that trust back in yourself, you can take those steps forwards. So the Knight of Earth reminds you that true success is built through steady effort and dedication. Your patience and discipline will pay off, leading you to long-lasting prosperity, security, and mastery. Trust in the process and remain committed to your path. All of these fears that come in, that could be technically the enemy. And when you give in to the fears, it takes you off your path of what you came here to do, and the enemy wins. So you don't want the enemy to win. You're going to win for sure. I'm going to read my channel. No, I don't have it in here. I'll have to go get it. My channeled message from yesterday. It was a good channeled message. But first we have a couple of oracle cards to do because I feel like we need to clarify that a little bit. Carol came in and she went out again. I don't know where she went. All right. Well, we have the breath of life and we have the threshold. Okay, so both of these cards came out from the 44 keys of the way. So let's see what these cards have to say for us. All right, so we've got the breath of life. Affirmation. My breath reconnects me to the source of life within. Remembrance. Breath regulates the body and clarifies the mind. It is always available and always current. When you lengthen the exhale, the system settles and perception sharpens. Breath is the simplest reset. The practice is to inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, and do that for 2 minutes. You want to relax your jaw and your shoulders. And then after you're done, notice the shift that you experienced. Hi, Rivaloo. The next card was the threshold, and the affirmation is, I honor the transitions that shape my life. The remembrance, thresholds require leaving something behind. Discomfort often signals passage, not error. Naming the transition stabilizes it. You do not need to rush the crossing. Practice. Name the threshold, write what is ending, and write what is beginning. So for me, the threshold could be, well, what is ending? My tenancy here. What is beginning? A new place somewhere else. That's what's beginning, right? That's the simplicity of what's happening. The simplicity of what's happening. All righty. Yeah, you're hilarious. Yeah. No. Got these little children on here today just coming in and, they'll do that whole, can you say happy birthday to my brother? His name is, and then they give a name that if you said it would be saying something inappropriate. Don't know what it is. Calling in the children today, apparently. All right. I have my last deck here. We're going to pull a couple. This one here is the Return to Center deck. And this is based on my trauma program or on my healing program. I don't really want to say that it's a trauma program. It's more about understanding yourself more. And that course is called Return to Self. It has a smaller little course that goes along with it, which is called Return to Center. That's a 7-day course that you can take to return you to center, to your breath, to the present moment. It has all these little practices. It gets you to notice certain things within your life. All right. Yeah, apparently they want these all. Okay, I was only going to do one, but I went to put them back and they just keep popping down. So we're going to do it. All right. Whoop, I pulled on my Sorry. Almost dropped you down there. Okay, so first we have, these ones don't have any pictures. They're starting, but they don't. Hi, Leslie, how are you? But they don't yet. So they're just white backs. The first card is awareness. This is not yours. You are absorbing what does not belong to you. You are taking on emotions or stress from outside yourself that's creating confusion about what you are actually feeling. This blurs your internal signals and weakens boundaries. The embodiment practice is to say out loud, this is not mine. Now, you can also ask, what of this is mine? Because maybe you've picked up some of it, but it's not all yours. So you can go, I release what is not mine. So I release what is not mine and visualize it leaving your body. Then take one nice slow breath and feel your own body again, right? So I'll let it go. Boundaries. You do not need to explain. Explanation is optional. Over-explaining weakens boundaries and drains energy. State your decision once and then stop. Okay? And that's true. More when we explain, we're trying to justify, right? We're trying to get the other person on board. We're trying to minimize the impact or the harm or the whatever to somebody else. So let's say that you were about to resign from your position. You might be like, I'm going to resign. And then you're like, I'm going to resign because and you basically give them a 6-page note letter. Like, and you're like, I'm really thankful for the offer and I really appreciate, and I'm so like, right? And that's because we just don't have that security within ourselves. Right. So we go through that. Okay. State your decision once and then stop. Okay. Hi, Cassandra. How are you? Nice to see you today. October is a very big time of the year for changes. Okay. It's a very huge time for harvesting. And we can see a lot of changes happening around that time. Okay. The clarity one that came out is you don't need to solve this now. Urgency is not required. The pressure to solve creates more activation. Most situations improve when your state is regulated first. Time can be used intentionally. So the embodiment practice here is set a specific time to revisit. So let's say you have a big summer blowout with one of your friends, right? And you're going to have a conversation or that, and you can wait. You can take time and say, okay, I'm going to wait. There's no urgency to get back to you. There's no urgency to respond. I'm going to allow that time for me to relax, to soothe myself, to get clear in my head. And then I will interact where I'm from a better space, right? Because in that moment, before you're setting that time to revisit, in the time until then, you're returning to the present moment, to your body. Like I said, you're getting yourself regulated. You're understanding why you feel the way you are, what you want going forward, all of that stuff. So that's the important of the clarity. And it's true. You do not need to solve this right now. The last card that came out from those cards is another clarity one, and it's talking about separating thought from reality, because your thoughts are not facts. Thoughts can feel convincing, especially under stress. They are internal events, not external truth. Learning to label them creates space between you and what your mind is producing. As our thoughts rise, label them thinking. Do not follow them. Return to your breath and body. So let's say you get into a fight. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And you're stewing about it. And hi, Carol. And you need to get to the point where you have a conversation. And but you're stewing in your head and you're just like making it go, right? Those thoughts aren't fact, right? Like oftentimes we make assumptions about what the other person thinks or what the other person's doing or what the other person's feeling. Those assumptions are not fact, right? In order for us to know like the truth, we're going to have to actually interact with that individual and do those. But that doesn't mean that we have to do it now, right? So coming back to your body is an important thing, and then understanding that these are thoughts, not facts. Just like your feelings are feelings, not facts. Your feelings are giving you information about the situation, but they're not facts. Just because you feel hurt doesn't mean somebody hurt you. That's a twist, right? Sometimes the hurt is from before and something in the present just brushes up against it. So then we look at that as being the cause of the hurt, but it's not that. It's just revealing a hurt that already existed. So there. All righty. We're going to do a really, really awesome meditation today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Sha'Ryah before we jump into that, because I do have some stuff that's happening there. So I talked about the 7-day course that I have called Return to Center. We are 3 days into that. So you technically could jump in and get the next 4 days, which will be Monday to Thursday of next week. You could get in on those next 4 days and receive the recordings for the first 3 days. Or you can wait and just get it all together as a standalone course that you can teach. You can take it at your own time. You can learn at your own pace, which is available on my website. I have a 10-day version that's there now that gives you like 20 practices to do and journal prompts and all kinds of things. So you can purchase it as that now, or you can, like I said, you can either jump in on the live one that's going on now, or wait until I do the next live run through. I tend to do this one probably about 4 times a year. I think the next time that I release it, though, I'm going to shorten it to 5 days. I just have to get really concise about what I'm teaching. And remember, we're not doing any trauma healing in it. We're just returning to center. These are these basic practices that return you to the present moment, to your body, that really help you with what's going on around you. And it's a real great precursor to taking Return to Self. Now, Return to Self is an 8-week program, and it starts on September 9th. And we do every single Wednesday and every other Saturday. So every single Wednesday will be the education portions of it. The Saturdays every other week is an integration session. And it's also a catch-up session in the event that you missed out on attending any of the lives, but you watch the recordings. Then you can come to the Saturday session and ask questions. And even if you did attend the lives, you can ask questions about those 2 classes. And it's all about the integration of the material from those 2 days. So you can miss the Saturday if you attended the lives, don't have any questions, don't have any follow-up that you want. And you can watch that particular recording whenever you want, right? So that's how that works out. So the Wednesdays are the classes. Every other Saturday is an integration session. It's a powerful, powerful course. I put many people through my trauma programs and in their different versions, from Return to, what do we first call it? Sacred Journey was what it was in the beginning. It was a sacred journey, which we were on. And then it became Bridge to Light Phase 1 because it was the bridge to enlightenment. But that name kind of really seemed a bit challenging for people to understand what it was all about, I guess. So now it's just Return to Self. And what I'm teaching you is how to understand yourself and reality better, and to move beyond the masks and identities and roles that we've assumed because of trauma, and to understand what's going on in our bodies so that we can become more present with them. And also that gives us more access to our intuition and our discernment and all those good things. So yeah. All right. I'm having a sip. I picked it up to have a sip. So do we want to do a money cleansing meditation and cleanse money? What are some other things that people are dealing with? One of the things that I'm very good at doing is, and Carol would agree to that, is my custom guided journeys. Now I use quantum regression and integration therapy. I use all kinds of different things when I do the custom journeys. The custom meditations are smaller. I don't go into as much depth. It's not about going into the subconscious and changing things. You know, you could get a custom meditation that is built specifically for you for whatever you want. And it could be built for you, like, you know, a sleep time meditation or a meditation to connect more with yourself, you know, like all of these types of meditations. But when we're looking at the custom journeys, these ones are where you'd come in and you'd be like, you know, I've had anger that I've been dealing with, like a lot of anger that I've had stored within me for a really long time. And, you know, like something like that, where we're going in and we're going to unpack what it is that's causing the anger and then clear that out of the way and move forward. So that's the difference between a meditation and a journey, where we're actually going into subconscious through the journey, but in the meditations, it's you're staying more conscious through the meditations. I also do custom intuitive artwork. Ooh, I can actually show you. That's awesome. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to, but I can. Because I can show you on this phone. Ah, that's so cool. Okay. So this is what a custom intuitive art piece would look like. They are very layered. They are created. This one here I did for myself. So it's only 6,000 by 6,000 pixels. It can be printed at 20 by 20 inches and placed on your wall. But I made the next ones, I made even larger. So the next ones are 8,000 by 8,000, which means that you could print them by 30 by 30, I believe, or even maybe even bigger. So this was the first one. And then this one I have permission to show from the individual who I did this for. This is the second one that I have authorization to show at this time. So you fill out a reflective questionnaire that asks you a whole bunch of things. And then I get into a specific state and then I channel the image. And it has depth that you don't even see necessarily if you're looking at it from way back, right? Like that's that one little space here is still an image within itself. So there's images within it. There's writing underneath of it. There's language. There's all kinds of stuff underneath. It's very, very, like, they're powerful. So those are available at my website now as well. And I absolutely love these images. I love creating them for you. They're activating, they're transformative, they're healing. There's so many layers to it. The image on the, like, you're going to be spending hours, and over time you'll look at it again and go, I never noticed that. Or someone else will come along and be like, look at that. And you'll be like, I never saw that. So the way that you see it versus how I see it, or what I saw when I channeled it. And I have your channeled reflection for you as well, love. I will do that with you afterwards, whenever you want. Whenever you want, we can get together and I'll do it. I'll do I'll give you the reflection portion of it as well. Okay, so we're going to get into a meditation. We are going to be doing a meditation to cleanse money. So if you're interested in that, stick around. I'm just going to grab a little sip of my tea, and then I'm going to get myself into a good spot. Hi, Dean. Hi, everybody. Okay, are you ready? Everybody ready? All right. Let's take this meditation, or let's take this music. I'm just waiting for my little, I'm going to pause that for a second. On TikTok, when you've been on for about an hour and a half, or around I think it's an hour and a half, maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there. Anyway, it gives you that little puzzle that you have to do. If I start channeling and I close my eyes to do the meditation, if that puzzle comes up and I don't see it, I just have to be aware of that. Okay. I was hoping I could catch them first and then we could do the meditation. I wouldn't have to worry about it, but we're just going to move ahead with it anyway. All right. You ready? Let me know if the music is too loud. You can give a thumbs up if it's good volume level. If the volume's good, thumbs up. Otherwise, just let me know and I'll turn it down a little bit because I can understand that the music is between me and my voice. I also apologize. I have no control over the way the music plays through TikTok or YouTube or any of them things. Some people say they only hear the music when I'm speaking. Some you only hear it when I'm not speaking. Once I speak, the music cuts out. So I apologize for that with the way that they handle the music and looking at it as background noise or whatever. But we're going to get started. So this meditation is a meditation to cleanse money. Okay. And it is also going to allow you to align with that frequency. Okay. So we're going to go through this cleansing meditation, and this is not just for us. This is for everyone. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is obviously be in a position where you can put your phone down. You don't have to hold on to it. It's in a secure spot. Make sure that you're in a position where you can close your eyes, where you can't be driving or being responsible for anything. Okay. If that's the case, then please just go watch the video, like watch the meditation on the recording when you're in a secure spot. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is close our eyes and bring our awareness to our breath. As you bring your awareness to your breath, the first thing that I want you to do is just slow it down. And we're going to do this by inhaling through our nose, into our tummy, up to our chest, pausing, and then exhaling nice and slow, like we're pushing on a brake pedal. We're going to do 3 of these breaths, sinking deeper into the space that comes up as we're breathing. And then I will take us from there. All right, let's begin. Breath in, out, in, out, in, out. Now, if after you finish that 3rd breath, noise still seems really clear, or your mind is still very active, or your energy feels very elevated, continue taking breaths like that until you feel yourself present with your body and this moment. When you exhale, pay close attention to the space that comes up and allow yourself to sink into that. And if you're really having a hard time relaxing, command yourself to relax. Now I relax my body. Now I relax my mind. In this moment, I'm going to create a safe space for all of us. This protective orb that surrounds us, this ball of protection, is aligned with Mother, Father, Divine Creator, divine laws, divine love, divine truth, and with the highest expression of all consenting beings. As we are within this orb, this ball of protection, we are being cleansed from anything that does not align with the frequencies within this orb. Any attachments that we have, any darkness, any shadow that isn't aligned to you or your divine self is cleansed and removed through pure source light. This white gold light fills the entire orb, surrounding each one of us, not just on the outside, but permeating through every cell. Remember, we are more space than we are matter. That space is filled with the divine. It flows in between every cell in your body. It surrounds your heart. It flows alongside your blood cells. It enters when you breathe. It lays across your skin. And it listens to everything you share. In this moment, it's just cleansing and purifying you, removing the darkness it has laid upon you. This works for anything that we have not consented to through being informed. Any of those decisions that we've made under duress, manipulation, lies, and distortion are cleansed immediately. We do not need to serve out the full contract that was made in distortion or lies. We just need to recognize it and release it. And it's being released now. Now that we have cleared ourselves, we are prepared to do the transmutation for money. As you see before yourself the entity, the being of money, you will note that rather than looking that beautiful, pure white light like source, you'll note that there's some discoloration. That as money appears before you in her form, as a being, she's carrying darkness. She's carrying wounds, death, harm to sacred life. These are chains that have bound her, for money does not want to be used for those purposes. We are going to cleanse money, also known as mammon. Walk towards the being of money and extend your hand. As you take Mammon's hand in yours, you are going to lead her to the river. The river is pure source creation, aligned with the divine. Anything that walks within this river aligns with sacredness of all life. Anything that's not aligned with that sacredness is washed away, transmuted through the river of prime source. When you're ready, walk into the river with Mammon. In this moment, we are going to wash Mammon. We are going to bathe the money being in the river of pure source light. We are bathing her with reverence, not because money is a god, not because money should be placed above source or placed above your own sovereignty. We are washing money with reverence because all life deserves to be treated as sacred. And in our reverence and respect for money, we show reverence and respect for ourselves. Allow yourself to wash Mama, wash her hands, wash her arms, wash her feet, wash her legs, wash her back, wash her front, wash her hair, wash her face. As you cleanse money, see the dirt, the shadow, the darkness wash away down the stream, and see Mama returned to her purity, to her innocence, to her divinity. Once Mama is clean, thank her and notice that she thanks you as well. Before Mama leaves, she touches you on your chest and a light blooms within. The light that runs through your body is Maman, aligning with you. Mama is thankful for you have released her from her binds. You have cleansed her. You have looked upon her not as evil or as a means for something. You have cleansed her. You have brought her back to purity. You have seen her for the energy that she is. She did not ask to be created and used in such a way. She blesses you and leaves. Once she leaves, you see the rest of us all together, those of us who are joined in this meditation. Whether we are here now or joining at another time, you see us all standing here, cleansed and purified, all of us glowing with the light of Maman, aligned with her. Allow yourself to cleanse within the stream, removing anything that you wish that does not align with you or the future that you see for yourself. Allow yourself to cleanse, knowing that we are all one, we are all unified, and what we do for ourselves impacts the whole. The more of us who cleanse ourselves and cleanse the energy of money, the more we will reclaim Earth and bring her back to the divine. Once you are finished cleansing in the river, it's time to return. Return to the orb. Return to your feet. Bring your awareness to your seat, your awareness to your heart space. Take a nice breath in and release. And when you're ready, open your eyes and return. What'd you think? How did you feel about that? I mean, I'm glad I caught the thing. I had like 3 minutes left before it was going to go off because of that thing that came up, the puzzle they make you do on TikTok. But luckily I opened my eyes and caught it. Nice. Hi, Carter. How are you? Good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. 11:20 for me on a Saturday. What is your plans for the rest of today? I mean, I have tons to do. I have tons of things that I can be working on at this point in time. The one good thing about the weekend is that when it comes to the responsibilities for hugs, I can't really do a lot with like contacting corporations and stuff like that. Like I can do behind the scenes stuff, but not a lot of front facing stuff outside of social media. For my company, I mean, I can do whatever with that in whatever hours. So, I think it'll be just like a lot of back end stuff, continue getting the webpage going, social media. I have this one post that I put up on social media that is just going crazy on Hugs for Homeless. So every time I log in, I have hundreds of comments that I have to respond to and stuff like that. So I'm sure I'll be tending to that post and maybe some other ones throughout the day. But what do you have planned for your Saturday? What are you going to do for the rest of, what people consider to be their day off? Although Saturday often comes with a lot of responsibilities, right? Many of us are like running around and doing our grocery shop and cutting grass, all those things, or laundry, all the responsibilities. Some of us do the fun stuff on Saturday and the responsibilities on Sunday. But what do you have going on? Don't be shy. I'm just going to just dance back and forth. Okay. All right. So I am going to head off then. I'm going to, nice. I like that. Unpacking some boxes. I'm going to head off. If you'd like to get your own custom meditation, you can get that at my website, which is linked in the bio. You can also do a custom journey. There's the intuitive artwork that I have there as well that I'm super excited to do for people. And so much more. There's trauma and nervous system one-to-one sessions. I have membership spaces, free Temple of Light. Balanced Self Sanctuary and Embodied Leadership Circle are both paid membership spaces. We meet on the 26th and 27th for the live session, second live session for those groups. We're going to be talking about how self-trust is built, not found. And we're going to talk about something about influence and presence. My brain is just, there's too many different things that I'm doing with courses and stuff to keep all the titles straight. I mean, I could look it up, but it's something about influence. I wanted to say influence over presence, but for some reason to me, that doesn't like make a whole lot of sense that it would be. Now to check it. Influence begins with presence. See, it didn't make sense because it's not, I knew it wouldn't be influence over. Influence begins with presence, leadership without control. So that's the one on the 26th. On the 27th is the self-trust. The self-trust is built, not found. If you're looking to those, you can join them as a standalone webinar and just take that webinar, or you can become a part of the group. To do the one session, just do the webinar, is $22.22 Canadian. To join the group is $44.44 per month, because you get 2 of the sessions. So I'm from Alberta, originally Ontario, from Tyendinaga. No, I'm kidding. I'm from Belleville, but I actually, like, my ancestry is from Tyendinaga, but yeah, Alberta. I'm curious though, just curious. What made you say hi, Auntie? Laundry. Yeah, I should do some laundry today too. I might make some sourdough bread, or biscuits or something. I'm going to do some stuff to definitely keep myself busy. But I also definitely plan on doing some self-care, because self-care is always good. And yeah, but that's about it. So I've been on for about an hour and a half, and I think that I'm going to hop off of here and step into the next step of the day, which will be definitely some more work and stuff. But if you need anything from me or are interested in anything that I've been teaching, please go check out Sha'Ryah.com. And if you're not aware, the Hugs Backpack Drive is still on. It is on for the whole month of August. The whole month of August and September, may be extended through October. Depends on what we decide at that point. But it's definitely August and September. So we're just looking for donations so that we can put together backpacks to get out into the communities with a goal of helping 1,000 people before winter hits. So if you have anything to give, if you don't have money and you have time, we're looking for volunteers as well. If you don't have money or time, then please share some of the posts, like follow the hugs.for.homeless account on TikTok, or go search out Hugs for Homeless page on Facebook and follow us there. It is a mission, and it is only as good as the community that supports the mission. So please help us, help others in any way that you can. Like I said, if you can donate. If you can volunteer. And if you can't do those, then just share, because sharing is caring and it gets our word out there. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. back here, 7:30 p.m. Mountain. So I'll see you then. All right. Love you guys. Have a great Saturday. It's all right. Okay. Bye, guys. Love you. Bye. Love you.